Hello and welcome to everyone joining. I'm going to give it a couple minutes here as people continue to roll in for the info session. But before we get officially started, I'll introduce myself. So my name is Nicole Black. I am the program director here at MedTech Innovator. And so I work with the companies. So you guys, as you're going through the program to give you guys the resources, mentorship, and support that you all need to succeed today. Today's session is focused around AMA or Ask Me Anything. So if you already have a question top of mind, you can start to put those into the Q&A box. So we're going to try to focus a majority of today's session on those. I will give a very brief overview to the program and the resources we offer, just in case you're coming into this sort of blind, not really sure yet what MedTech Innovator is. Maybe you got a outreach email from one of us on our team, or maybe someone nominated you for the program as well, and you want to find out what it's all about. We'll give you that basic information. But if you're already like, oh, well, I know about this, but I have a quick question, feel free to drop that in. We're also going to be joined at the end here by Paul Grand, our amazing CEO and founder of the program, who's going to help us answer questions as well. So really will be a joy to have Paul on the call. And yeah, looking forward to jumping into things. So sounds like we've got a good number of you guys here now, about 80 or so. So I will kick things off. And again, main purpose of this is AMA, Ask Me Anything. So if you were at our first info session, that was all about, what is the difference between our MedTech Innovator program and our BioTools Innovator program. If you were at our session a couple of weeks ago with Kelsey and Tim, this was, talking about what do companies really get out of the program and hearing Kelsey and Tim's insights. But again, this is Ask Me Anything. So take advantage of that and start asking things. Again, there's a Q&A box. If you go to that ... in the bottom and then click Q&A, you can start putting your questions in there. This will help us keep track of them and know what's already been answered and what we need to tackle. If you put things in the chat, we most likely won't see it. It's really hard for us to keep track of. So awesome. I already see some questions rolling in. So thank you guys. Great. So what is MedTech Innovator? So we are the largest accelerator for medical technologies in the world. This is digital health, diagnostics, and also medical devices as part of our core MTI program. We do have two sister programs as well. So if you've been on the applications page already and have seen these terms, so MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific is our program for companies that want to enter the Asia Pacific market. You don't necessarily need to be based in the Asia Pacific market. So if you're joining today and you're like, I'm a US based company, but our first market is India or Singapore or China, this program may be a better fit for you. The caveat here is that all of their webinars and programming are, about 12 hours separate from ours to accommodate that time zone. So one thing to keep in mind if you are based in the US is that the webinars will be, slightly skewed. But if you are in the Asia Pacific region and joining this one today, this could be a great program for you as well. Our other program is BioTools Innovator. So this is for our B2B life science companies developing novel tools to basically sell to pharmaceutical companies or other life science companies. So this could be drug discovery algorithms. This could be microscopy solutions, organ on a chip solutions for therapeutic testing, small molecule development, anything that's not directly, I'm just creating one therapeutic for one indication. This is really for platform technologies looking to make a difference in the life science ecosystem at large. This program is actually having their final capstone event of the program today, so really exciting there. And for all three of these programs, the deadline to apply is December 1st. That's going to come up sooner than you know it because next week is Thanksgiving, and then December 1st is the Monday after that. So if you're interested in applying, I really, really highly recommend you start your application today for a few reasons. First is that you can preview all the questions that you're going to be answered. So if you're like, oh, I need to, prepare a pitch deck, in advance what you need to prepare and be ready for. And also because once you're in our system, we're going to continue to send you updates to remind you to submit your application. So you won't lose track of it. It won't get off your radar. You're like, Nicole hasn't emailed me in a while. You'll automatically get updates from our system. So just start it today. It's super easy to create an account. And then you can also add other team members to edit your application for you. If, maybe you have someone on your product product development side of things that you want to fill out those product questions, whereas you as the CEO are going to be filling out more of the fundraising and long-term milestone sections. Anyone can edit this from your team as long as they're affiliated with your company on the portal, and then just submit it anytime before that December 1st deadline. Great. So as I mentioned, we are the largest accelerator of medical technologies. And what does this mean? So we've had more than 800 companies go through our programs to date. And this is from an even larger pool of applicants. Just last year, we had about 1,500 companies apply for our MedTech Innovator program, and ultimately accepted 64 of those in. These companies have been very successful going through the program as well, leading to more than $10 billion in follow-on funding after being through the program, with 93% of those in the past 13 years that the program has existed, which is a long time, still being in business or being acquired. So if you've ever heard the statistic, 95% of startups fail, we're actually the opposite. 90 to 95% of our companies are a success, leading to about 60 acquisitions by major players and more than 500 products on the market and cleared for use. So within MedTech Innovator, this is just an overview of some types of technologies that we support. And if you've gotten an outreach email from me in the past week, more than likely it's included a link to our alumni database. This you can find on our website as well. So you can see all of the companies that have been through MedTech Innovator and our sister programs as well, to see what types of technologies they each support. But within MTI, core bread and butter again is medical devices, digital health, and also diagnostics. So this includes innovative designs, new surgical tools, implantables, safety mechanisms, a lot of tissue grafts, adhesives, and biomaterials, with the caveat that if you are in sort of like the drug delivery space with your biomaterial, you may be interested in the BioTools Innovator program as well. And I usually recommend those companies with more of a platform material apply to both, especially if one of your customers could be a therapeutics company to encapsulate their drug down the line. Interventional tools, we see a lot of consumer healthcare, so different software programs that work on the Apple Watch to detect epileptic seizures, all the way to sleep buds to help patients fall asleep at night and potentially have other medical applications in the future. Workflow optimization, so helping surgeons, nurses, other providers really be their best in the care setting. So whether this is optimizing, their day-to-day workflow, optimizing how they analyze, radiography images. Maybe this is, something to help their mental health as providers that are in this very high-stress environment. Anything really, again, that interfaces with either a patient or a provider is in our interest areas. Patient monitoring, and then again, patient-facing diagnostics. We do see a couple lab diagnostic companies go through MedTech Innovator each year, but a majority of our diagnostic solutions are something that touches the patient in some way. So while, we do see these molecular diagnostic platforms, it's usually like an at-home test for cervical cancer screening or some other, at-home device that the patient will use directly or use directly in the clinic, rather than something that is sold to a hospital lab. That may be a better fit for our BioTools Innovator program. So that's just a small idea of, the types of companies that we support, but really, again, encourage you to look at our website and that alumni portfolio to see all of the companies that have gone through. We support companies in a number of different ways. So the first is really through mentorship. And I think this is really, at the heart of the program. We want you to succeed. So we offer tailored mentoring to your exact needs and one-on-one mentorship support throughout the entire 4-month program. So this includes a variety of different types of mentors that are in our partners network. So primarily on the mentor side, so our strategics, which I'll talk about in a minute, these are our large corporate partners. So every single one of our early stage companies gets matched with at least one strategic mentor. Our providers, which are provide services like clinical, design, regulatory support to our companies. These are all matched based on your needs. So we'll do goals calls with you at the beginning of the program, outlining, what is it that you really want to get done in the next 4 months. And then we will tailor match you to these providers based on those needs of yours. And again, I would say each company has about 2 service provider mentors on average in our early stage cohort. And then finally is the society mentors. So this year we have two specialty society tracks through the American Heart Association and also the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. And in addition to all of the benefits of the regular program, you'll get mentorship by these society mentors. And also we'll get to go to their conferences and exhibit. So Jerry, who's our amazing director of operations on the call right now, just got back from the American Heart Association conference with our companies there. And I was just at the plastic surgery, the meeting, both in New Orleans with our 5 ASPS track cohort members who also had booths on the conference floor and saw a lot of foot traffic. We're even making sales for those already in market on the conference floor. So these are our different tiers of partnership. And so primarily our mentors are the ones in that founding acceleration specialty tier. And then our service provider mentors come from that innovation tier you see there. So always growing and always offering more and more resources each year. So keep checking our website for our partners to see, who we're going to be offering next year as well. So it's always great new folks that we're bringing into the ecosystem. And again, all of our early stage companies get paired with at least one of those strategic mentors from the founding, acceleration, or specialty track tiers. In addition to mentorship, we offer a robust educational curriculum throughout that entire program. So this is actually our last week of the educational program for our current cohort, week 20. So they've had 20 weeks of these great webinars so far. And, what does this really look like? The first is really a unique offering that we have through MedTech Innovator, which is our value program. So this is based around the framework that AdvaMed established to help companies assess their stakeholders, what they really want to see, and also what evidence they need to generate to get them to ultimately adopt their product. So this will start off with a value workshop, which is intensive, about 3-hour workshop where we'll put you in breakout rooms with value professionals to help you outline who your stakeholders are, and then later what types of evidence you want to generate for them. So your stakeholders can be anyone from the patients to the clinicians, the hospitals, the payers themselves, and the healthcare ecosystem at large. And then based on your specific needs following that workshop, whether that's, determining your reimbursement strategy better, maybe, identifying which code you're a best fit for through your technology, or maybe that's refining your pricing strategy, we will match you with a value coach, and always great reviews on these value coaches. These are folks that normally charge thousands of dollars per hour to work with companies that are working for you pro bono. So you'll get to have 2 individualized coaching sessions with them to refine your value proposition. And then based on their feedback on you and also your completion of the value program deliverables, we'll choose 5 finalists to compete in our value award competition, which excitingly is happening for this cohort tomorrow. So this is going to be at the MedTech Strategist Innovation Summit in San Diego. We've got 5 of our companies in Soma Bio, Stentit, VQ Biomedical, Wavelet, and Winter Innovations, all competing for the $25,000 value award tomorrow. So be sure to follow MedTech Innovator on LinkedIn and you'll see who those winners are. The other part of this educational curriculum are our MTI Live. So these are panel series webinars that we hold every Thursday. And if you've been following MedTech Innovator on LinkedIn already, you've probably actually seen some of these and watched them because we do live stream that first hour for the broader community. The unique aspect that the MTI cohort gets is a special 30 minutes at the very end to talk to those panelists one-on-one and actually ask questions of them as well. So great opportunity to really dig into their knowledge on these spaces a little bit more, and we try to break down these webinars by topic, like value, funding, regulatory, product, sales, and operations, so that it follows like a well-defined curriculum agenda for the program period. And then the final offering is we have interactive Spark workshops led by our service provider partners on various topics you can see here. Everything from getting AI, ML applications to market to managing investor expectations, thinking about your valuation and its role in fundraising. And, our last one, which was today, on a practical approach to reimbursement strategy with Priya Healthcare. So I actually learned a ton from that on, the differences between ICD codes, CPT codes, Hicks Picks codes that I didn't even realize. So these are really insightful workshops, and again, ways for you to have closer discussions with the experts in these relevant fields about your technology and your needs. The next offering that we have is our resources. So at all of our conferences, we have our strategic partners there that we participate in that you'll get to meet with. We have investment insight as well, which I'll talk about soon, as well as our fellow projects. And importantly, every company also gets a complimentary 1-year membership to AdvaMed Excel, which is a fantastic trade organization. If any of you have been to the MedTech conference powered by AdvaMed, they put that meeting on every year, bringing together thousands of folks from across the med device ecosystem, importantly bringing strategics together to help with lobbying for the industry and other large-scale efforts. But they have this division called Excel that is a smaller community of startups that can actually participate in this broader ecosystem and actually make a difference through working groups and other advocacy opportunities. So great opportunity to get a taste of Excel and become involved through the program. Again, 1-year complimentary. We have licenses to PitchBook, which if any of you guys have, tried looking up investors in other companies, you know that this is a very valuable tool to really flesh out the landscape of investment. So, what is every single company that is invested in similar companies in your space? Are there comparable investors to those that you are already on your cap table that you should be thinking about and reaching out to? What is a reasonable valuation for your company when compared to other startups in your space? All of these questions and more you can answer with PitchBook. And if you've ever looked into purchasing a PitchBook membership, you know it's tens of thousands of dollars a year. We have rotational licenses we give to our cohort and alumni members so that you can access it when you need it, completely free through the program. Finally is our fellow projects. So we have a number of PhD student, business student, and postdoc fellows as well that we pay to help you. So they're basically like a free intern for you that works with you for about a 20-hour project, whether that's market research, utilizing PitchBook to do some of this investor research as well, compiling lists of key opinion leaders, anything like that. So this really great resource again for you to get some targeted support in an area of need. Next is what many of you guys care about, and this is the funding. So each year we give out about $800,000 in funding through our MedTech Innovator competitions. But in addition to that, we have a very expansive investor network. So more than 800 investors that we will email regularly, inviting them to our events, letting them know about you all, and importantly, giving them up-to-date deal flow on our Open Rounds portal. So this is a unique platform on our Innovator portal where you can post your Open Round information, and investors will be updated as you, maybe you've secured a lead investor, maybe you have a term sheet, and they'll see this alongside your pitch deck, past investments as well. So for them, this is really the PitchBook of MTI. This is where they see all of that information curated to their interests all around you guys that go through the program. Because again, these are the best of the best companies that we bring through MedTech Innovator. So we've already done the diligence on you guys, and it's easy for them to say, this is a great company to invest in because you guys have already vetted them. So really great resource there. And in terms of the funding that we award through our competitions, generally through the 5 ones you see here. So we just got back from the MedTech conference where we gave out our $25,000 execution award, $10,000 best video award, and our $350,000 early stage grand prize final award, with the finalists also getting $25,000. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, is our Value Award competition, so I don't have the photos from that yet, but tomorrow we will know who is our 2025 Value Award winner, $25,000, and then our mid-stage final winner. So these amounts may differ, and the exact competitions may differ next year, but this is what we're offering this year. Finally, and this is, or I guess next to last, is recognition and visibility. So this really, we've just pulled the cohort on the accelerator program in their favorite aspects. And this was actually number 1, I think, even more so than the mentorship, which is incredible. But we put you guys out there. We make you guys known. We have some great quotes from our testimonials, just came out of stealth and now everyone knows about us because of MedTech Innovator. We have a very active LinkedIn profile at at major conferences, we showcase you guys. And additionally, so this year we put all of your logos up on the NASDAQ tower for our cohort. So this was a great experience. New York City, all of the companies got their logos up on the tower. So we sent them videos of that. So really nice opportunity, again, to get your brand and image out there. Additionally, part of our program is making a 1-minute video. So this really will help you refine what exactly is your message to the customers. And we encourage this to be sort of like a commercial style advertisement. Folks often use this. They put in their email signature. They send it to investors. They put it, in their data room. They use this resource again and again. And importantly, we amplify these as well. So we have all these on our YouTube channel, post them on LinkedIn, encourage you to share as a part of the competition, and many of these videos get 2,000 or more views on them. So great aspect of the program, and we'll start off the program educationally by teaching you guys, what goes into a good 1-minute video and showing you some examples and having the previous year's winners speak as well and give you advice. So you won't be going into this blind. You'll have a good framework of really what makes a good video, and then you'll have that resource onward as well. And then finally, here is community. And I really think this is the most important part of MedTech Innovator. No, there is no one geographic hub for MedTech. It's not San Francisco. It's certainly not Boston. I'm here. But definitely not there. It's all over the world. And there are so many great innovations happening in different countries and different corners of the countries, rural to urban environments. And being part of this peer network with folks from all over is really the strength of MedTech Innovator. We're all facing such unique challenges, especially in the current climate, from fundraising to, regulatory pathway changes with the FDA to reimbursement changes and policies with CMS changing. And so it's just being part of this ecosystem where you can reach out to, this network and say, hey, I just had my SBIR grant, pulled back from consideration. Who else is facing this? And similar questions like that really is the strength. And so we have a very active Slack channel with all of our members. Importantly, we bring everyone together at the beginning of the program at our Innovator Summit in person. This is a great opportunity for you to network. It's kind of like a big conference where it's just MedTech Innovator folks, and some people meet lifelong friends just coming out of this conference. After the Innovator Summit, moving into the program, we'll assign you all to leadership pods based on folks that you're interested in meeting with regularly. And again, these pods are like little nuclear families. We encourage you to meet every week or so, and folks really give the feedback that they love, venting to their pod or asking the tough questions of others in it. And then even beyond the program, so we have a very strong alumni network. I actually just got back from MedTech Malta, where we had 10 of our companies showcasing there that have been through the program in the past or in this current cohort, and really the community there, everyone supporting each other, cheering each other on, making introductions to each other. That really is the strength of MedTech Innovator. So just a couple pictures here to show this was from the MedTech conference, but the folks in our ecosystem are always very supportive of each other. And we know that this is a tough space to innovate in. There are just so many challenges, from different manufacturing challenges, design challenges, as I talked about, regulatory reimbursement already, and importantly, fundraising, that being part of a supportive ecosystem can really make the difference for a founder, especially in small teams where it is difficult to lean on someone else directly on your team for some of these questions you have. So I want to move into the Q&A quickly. So wrap up just saying, it is a very competitive program. We really see the best of the best companies go through it. Almost 1,500 applicants we got last year. Probably will be about the same this year. We'll ultimately invite about 15% of those companies to pitch as part of our diligence events. So we will have one in-person diligence event in Los Angeles from about April 7th through 10th this year, as well as 3 virtual events. These are great opportunities, not just, for you to showcase, but to learn from the judges. We have experts, including investors, key opinion leaders, our strategics and other partners as well that come to these, and you'll see anywhere from 20 to 30 judges in a single diligence event that will give you critical feedback to help your company move forward as well. And ultimately will lead to this cohort of about 60 to 65 companies. Again, that will kick off in June. So this is the overall timeline. What you can expect after you apply is that we will hopefully let companies know that are invited to pitch in February. And then our diligence events, again, one in person in Los Angeles, three virtual, will happen between March and May. We will make our final selection of the cohort, those 60 to 65 companies, in May. And then we will bring everyone together at that Innovator Summit, which I mentioned, our internal MTI partner only conference in June. The rest of the accelerator program, about 4 months, is completely virtual. You can join it from anywhere in the world. And then we will convene again for our final showcase and competitions at the MedTech conference, which next year is in Boston, my hometown. So I'll see you all hopefully here for that conference. And again, all of our companies get a showcase spot as part of that. And during the Innovator Summit as well, we're going to be partnering with the Wilson Sonsini Medical Device and Digital Health Conference, which is one of the largest investor-attended conferences in the U.S. And so you'll get a pitch slot as part of that as well in June. So great in-person opportunities to showcase. But again, even if you go to the in-person pitch event, that's 3 in-person events that you'll have to commit to. You will have to pay your travel costs to attend those, but the rest of the program is virtual. You can join from anywhere in the world. And for these events, if you do have a conflict and you need to send someone else on your team, feel free to do so, but it is definitely worth sending someone. You'll get, free registration to the Wilson Sonsini conference and the MedTech conference. So definitely those alone are a few thousand in value. Don't give that opportunity up. Send someone else on your team to represent you guys. So these are the requirements. So you have to be, a startup company. You have to be incorporated by the time the program starts. But we see companies of all sizes. We see some that are bootstrapped that have only raised non-dilutive funding or friends and family funding. All the way up to this year, we had a company that's raised 250 million, and we've had several companies just in our cohort this year that are already commercial stage, bringing in $1 million or more in revenue a year. So we do offer a mid-stage track. So I would say about 2/3 of our companies are in that early stage track and 1/3 are in our mid-stage track. Again, that mid-stage track is for companies that have raised more than about 15 million in equity funding or are bringing in more than $1 million in revenue a year. So if you're in that bucket and you're like, I'm too late for MedTech Innovator, that's not true. We had a company this year that's raised 250 million. If there's a resource you can get out of the program, be that, the ecosystem community, the strategics, the wisdom, especially, as you get closer to M&A conversations, it is a program definitely worth applying to and being in. You should have enough runway to execute on your current milestones. We don't define this as a certain amount you will have raised already. If I had to give you a number, I'd say our early stage cohort has probably raised around 2 million on average. But again, this is just purely an average amount. We see bootstrapped, 200,000. Some companies still with a foot in academia for grant purposes. Again, too much larger than that. We expect you to have some prototypes or proof of concept evidence. This is not for a startup that is, a spinoff from maybe just like a class you took and you're like, this could be a company one day. You should actually have some proof that your idea is going to work. So we do see a lot of academic lab spinouts in particular, because these are folks that have worked on this idea for years and years, just in the more of academic setting. And we see a lot of surgeon-led companies as well go through the program and other provider-led companies that these are folks boots on the ground, know this is an issue, know that they need to solve this and have put, effort in on the side while they're not yet, a full-time CEO to creating this product and making it real. But you should be able to commit someone to the program, period. So there's, again, about 4 months of programming, as well as those 3 in-person events you see at the bottom here to attend. Again, this doesn't need to be the same person. If you're the CEO, you don't need to go to all 3 of these. You can send your COO, your CTO, or someone else like VP of Engineering, leader on your team to these. And overall, expect to commit about 5 to 10 hours a week between mentor meetings, webinars, and other deliverables for the program. But again, pre-seed to Series C funding, anything in between is eligible to apply. So with that, I want to get to the questions in the last half here. But if you haven't started your application yet, again, please start it today. This will ensure you know what you're up against in terms of questions we're asking. This will also let us remind you that the application is coming due as it gets closer. So you won't lose track of it. It won't go off your radar. And again, your progress will save as you go through it. You don't need to submit it all at once. You can do one of the pages today, one of the pages tomorrow, have someone else in your team do the third page the next day, and take your time until December 1st. But again, this is coming up sooner than you'd think, especially with Thanksgiving next week. So please start it soon. So that is it. Thank you guys for starting to put questions in. So yeah, I'm going to start going through these now. Again, we've also got Paul Grand, who's going to be joining us in about 10-15 minutes here to help with some of these questions as well. But I'll start to go through this. We also got Jerry here from our team, who's our amazing director of operations. Jerry, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Jerry here, Director of Operations, as Nicole mentioned. Nicole is amazing at answering all your questions and fielding all the applications and letting you know what's going on. Um, I'm here on the back end, happy to help with any tech issues or, where should you go? What should you be doing? How do you apply? All that good stuff. And if you get into our program, you'll be hearing a lot from both of us about how to be successful. So, good luck.
Oh, thanks, Jerry. And yeah, Jerry is the Portal Pro, so you may notice the application is through our portal system. Very easy to navigate and use, but if you do have any issues with like adding other members of your team or other logistical challenges with Portal, you can direct your questions to Jerry, Jerry at medtechinnovator.org, or you can send them to me and I can also help answer them or bounce them back and forth. But just so you're like, who is this guy? He's the best. Great. Thanks, Jerry. All right, so starting off here, we've got Viridis Chem is a chem informatics AI tools provider helping pharma agrochem companies through discovery process development. Is this a good fit for MTI? You are a great fit for BioTools Innovator. You are a perfect example of BioTools Innovator company. I would say definitely apply to that program. Again, this is for more B2B life science solutions. MedTech Innovator is more when there's a specific clinical problem that you are addressing or hospital related problem you're addressing. So thanks, Neelam. Definitely apply to BioTools Innovator. Fabian asked, does it make sense to apply again if we are still in the valley of death like last year? Some of our best companies have applied multiple years in a row, and often what they need to get out of that valley of death is a resource that the MedTech Innovator program provides. So, yes, apply again. Almost half of our cohort, I did the math on it a few weeks ago, and it was 30 out of the 64 companies in our cohort applied in at least one prior year, including our finalists. So, two of our finalists actually applied in 3 or 4 previous years. And these were the ones on the big stage winning the $350,000 checks. So definitely apply again. You'll continue to get feedback. And we look at if you've applied in previous years and how you've grown and developed. So even if, you may not have had big traction in terms of fundraising, but if you've done, significant market research, customer research since then, really honed in on your product design, other like lower cost milestones in the meantime, that will get recognized. So definitely applying in sequential years only helps your chances. Who sponsored your program? So we have several major strategic as well as service provider partners. I covered those kind of at the beginning, probably before, after you put this question, Dorothy. But strategics like Johnson and Johnson, Zimmer, Dexcom. Jerry's putting a link in. Thanks, Jerry. Are medical devices that are part of a combination product device with cells eligible? Yes, we often have combination products go through. One good example, we had a company called Reconstruct doing 3D printed breast tissue out of live adipose cells go through the program last year. So definitely, if you're dealing with CDRH in any capacity, even if it's CDRH plus CBER, definitely eligible to apply. Just try to be clear in your regulatory application or in your application where you're at in the regulatory process. So I have an idea on medical devices with something that starts as software and hardware design, but not a full prototype. Are you interested to support this project? So you don't necessarily need a physical prototype. What we really want is some sort of evidence that your idea is going to work. So if there are other companies out there that have done similar things successfully, if you have some idea, based on literature review of this device working, you can include that as evidence as well. And be clear, in that you're looking to build upon your product design as part of the program. One of the wonderful things about MedTech Innovator is we have about 5 partners that are in the product design space. So Minitronics, PDV MedTech, Cambridge Consultants, Andrews Cooper, and all of these companies, Valentium as well, they help mentor companies specifically in product design. So if this is a milestone of yours, I think it could be a great time for you to enter MTI and work with one of those mentors. Great. For companies that have made submissions in previous years, what advice do you have for 2026 submissions? I get this question a lot. Look at your feedback from previous years. See what the judges wanted to see, where your gaps may have lied. I would say the biggest things we look at are the technology itself. We are an innovation competition, not just a business plan competition. So make sure that you robustly outline your competitive advantages because of your technology. If you have any intellectual property, outline that as well. But at the same time, we do also very closely look at your business plan and thoughts around that. So definitely, if you guys have partnerships, I would say one of the strongest things you can do is get letters of support. One of the last questions will allow you to upload supplemental documents. So if you want to upload any letters of support from key opinion leaders like doctors in your space that think you have a great idea. If you are working with a strategic already early in conversations, be sure to upload a letter of support from them. And also the other thing we look at strongly is your traction to date. So that can be other competitions that you've won, prizes you've won in recent years as well. What is the screening review process for applications to MTI? Is there an AI screening for keywords? Or are there panelists who are reviewing applications? What are the main criteria you look for? We don't use AI in our review process at all, which is actually very difficult because we get 1,500 applications and we assign at least 4 actual real human reviewers to every application. So at least 4 humans are going to be looking at your application, not AI. The only thing we may use it for in the future possibly is summarizing the feedback that the humans provide to you just to make it as constructive as possible and as aligned as possible. But the application review is all done by real humans. After that first online review process, again, we have our diligence events where you'll meet people in person, again, real humans, 20 to 30 real humans who will be judging you either in person in Los Angeles or online. Great question. How are repeat applicants evaluated? Specifically, are their criteria different from first-time applicants? That is a great question. Not different criteria, but we do look at your past applications and see areas that you've grown in. So while it is great that we give you your applications from previous years in the portal that you can copy paste all your answers into, I encourage you to actually rethink the questions as you're going through them the second year and think, how you've improved and extrapolate upon that. There is no one simple answer to that. But we can, talk about that separately if there's something in your application you're not sure if you need to fix or not, but definitely update your milestones as you're going through. We see someone with a raised hand. Prakash, do you mind putting your question just in the Q&A box so I can go through these kind of in order? I talk fast, so I promise I'll get through them all. What is the MedTech program? We'll send a recording of this info session after if you missed the beginning. I hopefully answered that in the first 30 minutes. I have a medical device prototype. Would you support the startup process? Yes. So this is, so we don't actually support the incorporation process. You should be incorporated by the time the program starts, but all of the other milestones involved in commercialization and getting your product to market, we will address with you through the mentorship and curriculum. Do you need a sponsor that vouches for your company? So for early stage companies, we expect that at least one of our strategics is willing to mentor you. So most of the companies that make it in do have strong alignment with our strategic partners. You can, again, see these on our website. It's Johnson & Johnson, Dexcom, Zimmer, Asahi, Intech. But you definitely, it is helpful, but they don't need to know about you off the bat. They often meet, I would say 90 to 95% of the companies they mentor as part of the application process and pitching process. So, if you have a technology that's relevant to Dexcom, maybe you meet them at the diligence event and they're like, I want to mentor you, work with you, bring you into the program. For our mid-stage companies, the process is a bit more holistic. You don't need a mentoring partner as part of it, but it is helpful to have, the strategics as it is the other judges vouch for your product, so to say, or say that this is worthy of bringing through the accelerator. What does the program provide? So answered this again in the beginning of the presentation. We'll send out that recording if you missed that. Specifically, my product is LMIC contextual. Would you support this as well? I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea what LMIC means. I'm trying to look. Oh, low and middle income countries. Yes, definitely. We expect most of our companies have an interest in the U.S. market because most of our mentors are based in the U.S. market, but many of them are also going after developing countries in parallel and markets there. If you're looking at any countries in the Asia Pacific region, maybe like the Philippines or India, really encourage you to also look into our APAC program. So this is again for companies that are looking to commercialize in the Asia Pacific region, and so this could be a good fit for you as well. And their mentors may be more familiar with those types of markets. Do the tools and techniques with regard to clinical trials that improve success rate, right patient recruitment belong to MTI? Not quite sure what this question means, but we do have mentors to help you with your clinical trial planning and support, including Proxima CRO, that is one of the best of the best. So I actually worked with them when I had my own startup many years ago, and they were some of the best partners that we had outlining this. So we have they're going to mentor you, I would say probably like 10 to 20 hours during the program. Hard to say it's exactly what your milestones are, what you're looking to get out of that. If that is thinking about patient recruitment and strategies for that, they can definitely mentor you on those focused milestones. We're in the application process. Our nominations mentioned. I've been nominated by 3 companies. Great question and excellent news. So nominations play a very important role in our process. So if any of you know someone that's been through MedTech Innovator as an alum now, or if you know one of our partners, folks there, they can nominate you for the program. This is a form that they do on our side. All of these nominations get linked to your application. So this is the very first thing that reviewers see when they're looking at your application is not just the nominator's name, affiliation, but what they wrote about you. So this is, a fantastic company. Been working with them for 3 years. They're really moving the needle, that kind of stuff. That is great. Anonymous attendee, whoever you are. All of these are going to be linked to your application. You may have just gotten outreach from us from the first nomination, just because we don't want to inundate you if you're getting a lot of nominations with various emails. But every single nomination does get linked to your application and is seen by the reviewers. So while it's not like, an extra point on the scale, it will probably swing the reviewers to give you higher scores. Would love a copy of this presentation to share with other team members. So hopefully we will be tackling that soon. And so hopefully later today or tomorrow, we'll be sending out the recording of this. A lot of this information is also on our website, so medtechinnovator.org. There's a lot of resources on there. Again, my favorite page is that alumni portfolio, so definitely mosey around on there and see what you can figure out from there. Doug asked a question, how early is too early or how late is too late? Great question. We are pre-seed, pre-revenue with lead investor, working MVP, 3 pilot sites lined up. Too early, too late, or just right? Sounds like just right to me. Again, it sounds like, you have a working MVP, so you're past that prototype stage. You have clear milestones ahead of you with those first in human trials that you're going to get launched soon. So again, there's no too early or too late in terms of fundraising. It really is, again, based more around your milestones. And can MedTech Innovator offer you support for those milestones or not? That really is it. Again, we had a company that raised $250 million this year, just as we had a company that has raised completely non-dilutive, no equity funding yet. So there is really no good answer to that. It's just make it clear in your application what your milestones are, and that'll help us assess if you're at the right stage for us to help you. Are universities or educational institutions allowed to participate and apply, or do we need to have a startup? Great question. We expect you to be incorporated by the start of the program. You don't need to be incorporated at the time you apply. So if you have a really great idea, you've been working on this for 5, 6, 7 years in the lab, team of genius PhDs and postdocs, you have proof this works through your clinical studies that maybe are funded through the lab. Great time to apply, and maybe that'll be the kick to get you guys to incorporate later in the spring if you're accepted. So I would say like the major thing here is that you have to be able to sign an affidavit on behalf of yourself and your company, and you can't do that on behalf of like, Harvard University. You need to sign this on behalf of your company name, so that we can show your images, promote you, things like that as a company. So you do need to be incorporated by the start of the program, but again, fill out your application and put in, as a milestone that you're going to be incorporating soon. Does each your accelerator have a specific focus regarding what areas investors have an interest in? That's a great question. So less so investor interests, more so our strategic partners. So obviously, Zimmer Biomet, for example, is one of our partners. They have a strong interest in the orthopedic space. So they usually mentor about 5 to 8 companies in that orthopedics space every year. Same thing with Dexcom. They do a lot of patient monitoring and healthcare nutrition type space because of their CGM platform. So they have interest in technologies that are parallel to that. But in terms of investors, we have a wide investor network, about 800 folks that all have varying interest areas. Wow, you guys are putting these in faster than I can talk. I'm impressed. Can the company be incorporated in a Canadian province? Yes, companies can be from all over in the world. We started from non-clinical use cases in occupational health and now running at 1 million annual recurring revenue. We're now switching to clinical use cases. Does the revenue count in the application? Yes, there will be a section of the application where you can talk about your ARR and what your expected revenue for next year is. This will definitely be helpful to you, especially because this will probably make you eligible for a mid-stage cohort. So definitely put in that information in your application. We focus on heart failure digital health solution. Think of general digital health track or AHA specialty track. We do have the AHA specialty track as well as the ASPS track. Beyond that, we don't have any other like specific tracks to clinical areas. It's really just about who your mentor is. So I would say definitely check the box to express interest in the AHA track. It doesn't hurt. It can only help get you on their radar, but we will likely put you in front of our other strategics like J&J and Edwards that are interested in the cardiology space as well. Is this open to foreign companies not based in the US? Yes, about a third of our companies every year are from outside the US, majority Europe, but our winner last year was actually based in Colombia, Latin America, and we have several Israeli companies this year as well. Do you need to be based in the USA? Nope. So you can be based anywhere in the world. Again, about 2/3 of them. We're in the process of creating a bioproduct that has the potential of quieting the immune system without shutting it off. The applications will be several. We are pre-seed, no prototypes. Are we eligible to apply? Shoot me an email, Prakash. It sounds like you could possibly be a fit for the BioTools program as well. But regardless, the applications are pretty much the same. So you can kind of like copy paste your answers between both. It sounds like there is a clear clinical application. So MedTech Innovator is a fit, but based on your underlying technology, if it is more platform in how you're quieting the immune system. If it's like a molecular pathway that you're utilizing, BTI could be interested to you too. No prototypes yet. Again, since it's such a deep science question, I would focus on if you guys have other research that shows, basically the mechanism of action of this pathway or something like that. Any published research that you can show would be helpful as well, or other patents. We've got a question about regarding correct fit category. They develop better in vascular molecular diagnostics than ML prediction model. That's great. Just be try to answer the category questions as closely as you can. There may not be an exact fit for those, but I would say for you, there's going to be like a clinical area where you maybe have to click multiple diagnostic categories, but in the technology space, there should be digital health categories around ML modeling, and then diagnostics categories as well, where you can say like lab diagnostics. I would say the categories aren't like a huge make or break for the application. It's really just to help us bucket them for reviewers to get in front of the right people. So be as comprehensive as you can when you're checking off those boxes, so that the most possible people could look at your application. If they say they have interest in molecular diagnostics, you'll get in front of those people. We're a tool for monitoring chemical pollutants in the water, which you may not consider to be in the more traditional medtech space. Customer base is not pharma or academics, but water districts outside of what BioTools Innovator may be able to help us with. Yeah, sounds like based on your technology, again, you could be a better fit for BioTools Innovator. If there are specific clinical diseases that you are preventing with your technology and removing these pollutants, you could be a fit for MedTech Innovator, especially, that monitoring aspect, if that can be implemented in other settings as well. For example, we have a company this year called Starling Medical that is monitoring urine and analytes in the urine. So if there's other healthcare settings where your technology could be used, I think could be of interest to some of those partners as well. But thanks, Fred. Shoot me an email and I can connect you to Jim to talk about BioTools. How can you make sure IP is protected? This is on you guys as you're applying to make sure that you have your IP in place and you don't divulge anything that you don't necessarily need to divulge. So I would say, again, you can share as little or as much in your application as you want. We don't sign NDAs directly with any companies. If you're working with a mentor, you can choose whether or not you want to engage in an NDA with them. But share as little or as much as you want. Obviously, you should have some evidence, but you can show that evidence without showing the underlying technology or the secret sauce behind it. So we've got a question from a clinical diagnostic company in CNS. So the platform has application in pharma R&D. Should we apply to both MedTech and BioTools Innovator for pharma access? Yes, I would say apply to both. It sounds like you have a clear clinical space, but also this platform tech. Again, the applications are nearly identical, so you might as well apply to both. We may even invite you to pitch at both diligence events. We've done this for several companies every year. And then ultimately, you won't be accepted into both. We'll choose the program that best fits your milestones and whose partners have the highest interest in mentoring you. So where do we fit in BioTools Innovator or MedTech Innovator? Sorry, Andy, I don't remember what your company's working on, but shoot me an email. We can figure that out on the side, which makes the most sense. Any ML-based prediction? Oh, so Andy clarified he's an ML-based prediction model. It depends if it's for a clinical disease or not. If it is for a specific clinical indication, like looking at risk of heart failure based on these biomarkers, then I would say it's MTI. If it's more platform, like we're gonna predict the ideal drug structure based on molecules involved in the pathway, then that's more of a BioTools Innovator question. So the short answer is MedTech Innovator is any technology that is going to impact a patient or a provider directly. BioTools Innovator is going to impact the life science industry more broadly around that. And we've got Paul on the line as well. Hey, Paul, thanks for joining.
Nicole, good to see you.
Thank you. So Paul's joining us from our BioTools Innovator Capstone event. So we've had a lot of great questions so far about which programs they should apply to. So great that they're considering both of those. Got a few questions here, Paul, that I think you can tackle. I've got through 35 of about the 55 already. But we had one around, is this non-dilutive funding? And then what is the cost of the program? So if you could help with those, that would be awesome.
Absolutely happy to do that. So generally speaking, our philosophy is to try and keep as much of this free for everybody as possible. Meaning, we want people who are interested in succeeding in the market to be able to apply for free, to be able to get feedback for free, to be able to participate in everything for free other than your travel. That's like the general philosophy that we operate under. Some of our programs have tracks or have components that may or may not have fees. And when I say may or may not have fees, it depends on who the track sponsor is. So, for example, the American Heart Association or the American Society for Plastic Surgeons, their tracks may have components, for example, that have some equity that goes to them in return for participating in their tracks. So for the benefits that they'll be offering, which are substantial, they have an equity component. That's one example. And for other programs that we have, there's no fee at all. or there's a subsidized fee from somebody else. And we're very clear and very transparent about what those fees are. And when you're advanced, if you're advanced to the stage at which we do our diligence, so roughly 15% of the applicants will be advanced to the diligence stage. If that happens, and you're in that lucky group of people who are advanced, we will tell you which programs specifically you're being considered for, and if there's any fees or equity requirements. All that will be completely transparent. You can make a decision at that point if you want to move ahead with the program. So everything will be completely outlined for you. In some cases, as I said, there'll be no fees at all. In some cases, there'll be potentially fees or there'll be equity requirements. But again, it's all going to be completely black and white, and you'll know what your consideration for, and you can make your decision at that time. And again, just to give you a rough idea, because people will then say, well, what kind of program fees or what might it cost? We're talking about low dollars. We're not talking about anything that's exorbitant. Most of these things are mainly to cover the cost associated with that program. So for example, we have 4 events or so that you would be part of throughout the program, where there's food and there's venue cost and things like that. There's just a small amount of it that would be allocated to companies. And again, in most cases, it's going to be completely subsidized by somebody else. So I'm just giving you the extreme cases. There might be some fees or equity associated with some of the tracks. And again, that's totally up to you if you want to do those. But our goal is always to try and keep it either free or next to free for everybody.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much, Paul. That was super helpful. If anyone else has any questions regarding that, plug those in the next couple of minutes. I think that tackles about 4 of them that Paul got on here. Yeah, so I will keep working through these. Paul, I think you're probably good. I don't see any unless anyone else has any last minute things they want to put in here. Yeah, want to get through these next 15. Thanks for joining us, Paul. And again, if you
Thank
guys have
you.
any questions, yeah. Stay on.
Thank,
I'll try to get through as many as I can. See you later, Paul.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nicole, for doing this. Nicole, by the way, is a champion here, trooper. She has been traveling all around the world nonstop for like the last month on our behalf, and is just incredible. And I hope you all get a chance to work with Nicole because she is just terrific. So thank you, Nicole, for everything you're doing, and
You're the best.
keep up the great job. All right, everybody. I hope to see you guys. I hope to see your applications. I hope to see you on our Diligence Road Tour in the spring next year. If you have any questions at any time, I'm really accessible as well. Paul at medtechinnovator.org. Easy to find me, and happy always to connect with people. So thank you again, and good luck.
Thanks, Paul.
Bye. Thank you, Nicole.
All right, so I'm going to try to get through these last 12. Caveat, I do have another meeting starting right now. So I'm going to talk really, really fast. We are developing innovative AI software that transforms the way cosmetic clinics are managed, automating workflows, analyzing data, smart future. I don't know if there's a question in this, but sounds like you're a great candidate to apply. We have a plastic surgery track that might be interested as well. Do you have to own the IP or can be licensed from a university? It can be licensed. I would say about 1/3 of our companies have licensed technology from a university. We develop wearable and portable devices for substance use monitoring, currently in the justice treatment recovery space. Sounds like you're a better fit for med tech than biotools innovator because you are patient facing and you have a specific clinical need that you're addressing. AI native support app providing compassionate guidance for people experiencing pregnancy loss. Great fit. Definitely apply. I think that mental health is an area I'd love to get more companies in the space, and it seems like a strong digital health technology. We do have to incorporate in a specific jurisdiction. We're Canadian. Yes, we have a number of Canadian companies every year. No specific jurisdiction. Platform tech pipeline of products, diagnostic and therapeutics with predicate device. Can I present all in the same presentation? If you have different products, this is important. Please submit different applications for each product. The reason is our reviewers are going to be very laser focused in their feedback on the product basis. So it's really hard for them to do that and score you 1 to 10 if they think one product's a 10 and one's a 2. So you can start multiple applications as the same company. Go into the applications page in the portal, and then after you start an application, go down to the bottom, you can start a new one. So submit, I would say for you, you have you have two or three products that are all different. Submit two or three different applications, one for each. Let Jerry and I know if you have any issues creating the second and third applications, but this is your best bet to get the most feedback and identification by the partners relevant to your space. Do you support social purpose companies? That's a good question. We haven't ever brought any like nonprofits through the program in the past, but we do love when you have a social aim. In addition, you should have a strong business plan, whatever that may be, to actually bring in revenue and generate value for the company. But if that's in tandem to a social objective, that is just even better. Can LOIs from strategic partners be submitted after the deadline? So try to get everything in before December 1st. If you've submitted already and you're like, oh, shoot, I really wish I could have uploaded that letter now, you can edit your application. So go to your applications page at the top. It's either edit application or like delete application. If you edit it, you can upload that letter and then resubmit it. But let me know if it's after the deadline and you really want to get it in. Maybe we can do something on the back end. Sybil Care is building an AI native support app for compassionate care with pregnancy loss. This is the one I just answered. So yes. Does the tech need to be in FDA approval, or can we be in SPR phase 1 or 2? Definitely can still apply. I would say only maybe like a third of the companies in each cohort are already cleared for use. A lot of the purpose of the program is to get you the regulatory reimbursement support to get you into the market. If you have SPR phase 1 and 2 funding, that is amazing. Definitely mention that. That's a huge win in the eyes of our reviewers, good traction, and also justification by those review committees already of the promise of your technology. Is digital mental health a good fit for the program? We've had several digital mental health companies go through the program already. Probably as the last thing I'm going to do is I will drop in the chat a link to our alumni database. This is an incredible resource to see all of the alumni companies that have been through the program already. And you can sort this by clinical area as well as technology type. So I will maybe quickly share my screen just showed this to you guys, but definitely pull that link up and do some digging through if you're like, I don't know if I'm a fit or not, which seems like a majority of the questions. But this is really a great way to see, what other types of companies have already been through the program if you're really not sure. Apologies, my computer is slightly freezing right now, but hopefully you guys can pull that up. Let's see, MedTech Innovator. But yeah, this platform really useful again. If you're like, hey, have we had any urology companies more on like the digital health side of things go through? You can search urology and then you can search digital health and pull up exactly what all of those companies have done, where they're based at in the world, and even more there. So now it's finally working. So again, this is our portfolio. Just put that link in the chat. So we're looking at different device categories, let's say clinical, psychiatric, behavioral health, or maybe that's a good one. You can see all of the companies in this space that have been related to it. Like a lot of like patient monitoring technologies, neuromod wearables. I think some of these companies are really great examples. Like, Oslo is treating tinnitus and in the way people that sleep as well, and insomnia. They were one of our companies last year. Samfire has a neuromod device to help with mood symptoms, with menstruation. We have some other I think Happy Tech might not be in this page, but like there's some other great examples as well. So dig through there, and you should be able to get a good idea of what types of companies have been through. If you guys have any other questions, reach out to me. I can't promise I'll reply immediately just because my inbox is kind of crazy, but hoping to get through most of my current inbox by the end of the week. So let me know if you have any other questions. One last question about how many letters of support would you recommend? 2 or 3 is probably good. If you put like 10 in, people are not going to open them and read them because they're going to think kind of too much. It's kind of like when you're reading a scientific paper, right? People primarily look at the abstract and then the figures. It's a similar case with the application, to be honest. Like the product description abstract and then your pitch deck are really the main things people look at. Definitely mention in your pitch deck if you have letters of recommendation that you want people to look at. You could even put a note on your team slide under the person, like here's one of our KOL advisors, see appendix for attached letter of support in the application or something like that. But no firm number. I would just say like probably don't submit more than like 4 or 5. That might get overwhelming. Great. Well, thank you all so much for joining today. Sorry for talking fast. I wanted to make sure to get through these all. We'll send out the recording later if you guys want to revisit anything, especially the ins and outs of the program itself. Again, really hope to work with you next year. You got to meet Jerry and Paul, who are amazing, but we've got about 10 other staff members that are some of the best in med tech that you'll get to interact with. And that's a great part as well, is you get to work with all of us and have us supporting you and helping to showcase you. So thank you guys for joining today. Again, my name is Nicole, Program Director here at MTI. Looking forward to staying in touch with you all. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks.